Now let us swipe in the middle of the screen. That is 4 times we are going to swipe. That is, this is the first swipe, then second swipe, third swipe, and fourth swipe. Okay, you can see the accounts in here. Let us check after the fourth swipe in this page, add an account is there or not. If it's there, it is pass. Okay, this is the swipe from right to left. Okay, once we validate this, then we'll swipe from left to right. That is from here till here. Okay, so left to right, one swipe, then second swipe, third swipe, then fourth swipe. Okay, so this is what our action is. So let us start writing the code for this. What is the code for swiping? We can write code something like this: driver dot swipe. And what are the parameters which is needed inside? It is integer start x, start y, end x, end y. Okay, let me write the code something like this. So we need to pass in this parameter. What is this start x? So in this case, what exactly the start x is? Okay, my start x would be somewhere here. Okay, because I am swiping from right to left. I am swiping from where? From right to left. So always my start point for horizontal swipe, my reference point is left hand side. What is the reference point for my swipe? My reference point is left hand side of the mobile. So when we say start x, we are saying with respect to this point, my start x would be 90% of the screen. Don't you think so? Of the x-axis. This is my x-axis. This is my x-axis and this is my y-axis. Okay. So supposedly if I say now 90% of my x-axis is my start x. I'm pressing it here and move till here. Okay, somewhere here. This would be 10% of the x-axis. Okay, this is 10% of the x-axis. Okay, so I hope everyone got it. Okay, so before I start, I need to know what is my x-axis and what is my y-axis. Okay, so to do that, we need to get that values. For that, the code will be driver dot manage dot window dot get size. Window dot what? Get size. Control 1 enter. It is dimension size. If I say sisu, if we print as size is concatenate with this size, you will get two values. That is, it will give me the x-axis. The size will give me the x-axis and it will give me the y-axis. Size is somewhere around 720 and this y-axis is 1280. It all depends on the based on the mobile sizes. Okay. Now, once I get this size out, I need to get the, say I'll just give you the rough idea what exactly the output in this case is. It will be 720. The output would be something like this: 720 comma x-axis, that is 720 comma 1280. In this 720 is width. Don't you think 720 is width? That is your x-axis. Then what else? 1280 is your height. That is your y-axis. So which way we are swiping? We are swiping from where? From right to left. So if I am trying to swipe from right to left, which axis I should be worried about? That is x-axis. That is, in simple terms, I should be worried about the width. My start x is 90% of this place. I mean, always the reference point for Horizontal swipe is where? Left hand side of my mobile. Start X is somewhere here. That will be 90% of this 720. Okay, so how will I say that? First I need to say int start X equal to, what is its size? Size dot width into what it is, 90%. 90%. So it is 0.90. When we say it becomes a double, so I am going to typecast it because it allows only the integer value inside the parameters. So we have typecasted it as int. Okay, now if I say syso, I'll just say this for our reference, start X is, then concatenate with what? Start X. So 90% of 720 is how much? 90% of 720. Let me just open the calculator. Okay, so 720 into 0.90 into 0.90. This is what? 648. So our control goes into the x-axis, that is 648. That will be our start X. Okay, in simple terms I'll write like this, driver dot, it's as good as writing like this, it is 648. Okay, then how will I get the end X? How will I get the end X? Start X is here, end X is here. So how will I write the code for end X? Int end X equal to typecast integer int. Now what it is? Shall I copy paste? Size dot, what is the parameter which we need to look in? Again, it's in the x-axis which we are talking about, so we need to take the width quotes 0.10. Okay, now syso, what this would be? End X is concatenate end X. Okay, now we got the start X. So 10% of 720 is how much? 10% of 720 is this end X. 10% of 720 is 72. That is the value which comes and resides here. Now what is the values which are left out in our swipe? Start Y and end Y. So for start Y and end Y, what exactly we need to do? Start Y and end Y will be the 50% of this height. We have decided that Y axis is 50% of this mobile device. Okay, so how will I represent that? I should say int start Y equal to int, how it is? Size dot, what it is? Size dot height into, how is it? How do I represent the 50%? It is 0.50. Let me say syso, what it is? Start Y is again plus symbol, it is start Y. So what will be the 50% of 1280? 50% of 1280 divided by 2, it is 640. 50% is 640. So start Y is 640 and end Y is how much? End Y is also 640. That is also 50%. So to be frank, again we need to just copy paste the code and change it to end Y. Do we really need to write this code and change it here? Change it in this place and change it in this place. Do we really need to write line number 50 and 51? Don't you think it is a redundancy code? It's a repetitive code. So that's why, because it's the same thing. Line number 47, 48 is same. Line number 51, 51 is also same, because both are pointing to the height and it is 50% of the device. So shall I remove this? I don't want that. I'm deleting it. So shall I remove this hard-coded value? To make you people understand, I have written the hard-coded value. So in place of In place of start X, what I should pass in? I should say start X. In place of end X, I should say end X. What is the start Y? Copy this, put it in here. What should be the end Y? End Y is also we are saying as start Y because it is holding what? 50% of the height. Duration is how much time it will take to swipe. So once it swipes, I want to showcase you people for 4 seconds that it has indeed swiped. So 4 seconds. Shall I swipe for 4 times? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste for another 3 times. I'm copy pasting this code. Okay, second time, second swipe, third swipe, fourth swipe. Once we reach the fourth swipe, okay, let me come to the fourth page. What do we need to validate? We need to validate add an account. So let us capture the screenshot. Then click on add an account. Copy this. Shall we say driver dot find element by ID, open quotes, close quote, dot, what it is, how do I take the output? Get text. What is the return type? It's a string. So shall we say if text dot equals, what it is, add an account, then say syso pass else syso fill. Okay, finally have a message saying that swipe from right to left is successful. Okay, let me save the code. Let us execute. Start the APM server. Close the app. It should swipe for 4 times and it should validate and give us the message from right to left is successful. It should validate, give the result. Execute. Now it should launch the app. And swipe for 4 times. Okay, if you see here, it's swiped once, then second, then third, now fourth. Accounts page. In accounts page, it has to validate and it gives the message swipe from right to left is successful. There's a spelling mistake in here, please pardon me on that. Okay.